Be honest with yourself. Are you afraid of falling? Here's a number that should make you stop and think. 1 in 4 people over 65 falls at least once a year. And what happens after is what nobody talks about. 60% of people who suffer a serious fall never fully regain their mobility. The body simply doesn't bounce back the way it did at 30. But there is a place on the map where people at 70, 80, and even 90 years old don't fear slipping in the bathroom. Where living independently at 100 is not the exception, it's simply Tuesday. That place is Japan. Nearly 100,000 people there are over the age of 100, and they do something specific. Today, I'm going to show you 4 exercises from Japan that will give your legs back their steel strength. Stay with me start to finish, because the order matters. Here's the fact that doctors rarely say out loud. For an older person, a serious fall is often a point of no return. Not because of the injury itself, but because of what follows. Fear, inactivity, muscle loss, and then another fall. But why do older people fall more than younger ones? It's not just weak muscles. The deeper reason is the connection between the brain and the body. When a young person steps on ice, the brain sends a signal in milliseconds. Tighten here, shift weight there. In an older person, that signal travels with a delay. And in that fraction of a second, a fall happens. The good news? That connection can be rebuilt. And that's exactly what these 4 exercises do. Exercise 1, Asian squat. This is the foundation on which the entire Japanese system rests. For a person over 50, knowing how to squat correctly is literally a survival skill. This isn't special gymnastics. It's just an ordinary day in Japan, China, and across Asia. People still do what Europeans have long forgotten. They sit in a deep squat. This position is our biological default. A 2-year-old squats perfectly, hips to the floor, spine straight. But by the time we reach 50, we've lost that ability. Joints stiffen, muscles atrophy, and we start avoiding anything that requires bending down. The Asian squat activates every muscle in the legs simultaneously. Your quadriceps, the front of the thigh, are what lift you from a chair. Your glutes are the most powerful extensors in the body. Weak glutes mean an unsteady walk. Your core muscles create the frame that holds your spine upright. But the real secret isn't the muscles. When you squat deeply, you work with the largest source of joint fluid in the body, synovial fluid. Think of your joints as hinges. Without movement, the lubrication dries out. The Asian squat pushes that fluid deep into the cartilage, nourishing the hip and knee joints. Place your feet wider than shoulder width apart. Bring your hands together in front of you and slowly begin lowering yourself down. Your goal is to reach this position. Heels on the floor, hips below the knees, spine straight, neck relaxed. This is actually a resting pose. In this position, you should be able to stay for 2 to 3 minutes without any support. Just sit, relax the pelvic floor, and let the hip joints open gradually. Keep your back straight and your neck long. Do not lift your heels. Do not let your knees cave inward. Use your elbows to gently push them apart. Common mistake. If your heels lift off the floor when you squat, don't force it. Lower yourself slowly and gradually. The muscles will open, and over time your heels will stay down. If you have knee pain or any discomfort, place a chair behind you, or hold onto a table or the back of a chair for support. You're training the movement pattern, not chasing depth. Japanese principle, quality over quantity. In your first week, start with 3 to 5 slow squats. Your goal is not a record. It's letting the brain relearn the correct movement. Optimal, 2 sets of 6 to 8 repetitions. Rest 1 minute between sets. Do this every day, as regularly as brushing your teeth. The Asian squat is also a test of your biological age. If you can sit into a deep squat and stand back up without using your hands, your legs are functionally 20 years younger than your passport says. Write in the comments, did you manage to stand without using your hands? If the Asian squat builds strength, the next exercise builds something that actually saves your life in the moment of slipping: coordination and the brain's rapid response. Let's move to exercise 2. Exercise 2, single leg balance. Japanese retirees often do this exercise standing in line at the grocery store or while brushing their teeth in the morning. You can try the same. In a small Japanese town, there lives an 82-year-old woman who is still writing software code. Her village has no nursing homes, because the elderly there preserve their mental clarity until the very end. And do you know what they do every morning? They stand on one leg with their eyes closed. I don't recommend closing your eyes just yet. There's a real risk of falling. But the principle matters. Researchers at Tokyo University discovered something striking. The inability to stand on one leg for more than 20 seconds is a marker of silent stroke and brain damage that a person may not even be aware of. When the brain sends a signal to the muscles and they don't respond in time, that's the first warning sign. Why this matters. It's not only weak muscles that cause falls. The deeper cause is the vestibular system. The brain stops processing signals from the feet quickly enough. Single leg balance trains that system directly. It also strengthens the ligaments of the ankle. If you slip, a strong ankle absorbs the impact and keeps the bone in the joint. And it activates dormant stabilizer muscles that ordinary walking never reaches. One more Japanese insight: balance directly influences the brain. Coordinated movement forces the brain to work. That's prevention of Alzheimer's, as effective as crossword puzzles. Japanese proverb: he who can stand on one leg for a minute will never fall on ice. Stand on one leg. Raise the other in the shape of a heron, bent at the knee, pulled toward the body. Arms out to the sides for balance. Your main task is simply to stay on one leg. All the muscles around that leg will activate automatically. If you feel like you might fall, do not push through it. Fear of falling tenses the muscles and actually makes balance harder. Stand between two sturdy chairs or next to a wall. Place one hand lightly on the surface, not leaning on it, just touching. Your brain needs to know there is support. That feeling of safety is enough. Second option: simply bend the knee slightly and place your toes on the floor behind or beside you. The toes barely touch. The main load stays on the standing leg. What not to do: do not push through severe shaking. If your leg trembles so much that a fall feels imminent, lower the leg and rest. Shaking is a signal of overload, and do not hold your breath. When we fear falling, we instinctively freeze and stop breathing. This raises blood pressure. Breathe steadily, in and out. Healthy baseline: 30 to 40 seconds on one leg without wobbling. Longevity target: 1 minute. 2 to 3 sets per leg per day. Better to do a little often than a long session once. Stand in line, stand on one leg. Brush your teeth, switch legs. No mat required. If the Asian squat teaches the legs to move and balance teaches them not to fall, the next exercise turns them into unshakable pillars. Exercise 3. Horse stance. This is not just an exercise. It is the foundation of strength philosophy in both Japan and China. Regular walking loads the legs in cycles. The horse stance does something different. It activates deep burn mode. The muscles of the thighs and glutes are forced to work continuously, without rest, simply to hold the body in position. A 2022 study showed that 8 weeks of training that simulates horseback riding significantly improved balance in older adults. The pelvic movements trained in this static hold directly influence gait and stability. A 2019 study found a remarkable effect in older adults with Parkinson's disease. After just 6 weeks, balance scores improved from 45 to 50 on the Berg scale, and cognitive function improved as well. You strengthen the legs, and the mind becomes clearer. When you hold the horse stance, you send a powerful signal to the brain. I am strong. I am standing. And the brain responds. Good. Maintain balance, maintain neural connections. Fall prevention and dementia prevention in one exercise. Stand with your feet wider than shoulder width apart. Slowly lower into a squat and raise your arms in front of you, as if you're holding the reins of a horse. Imagine there is a horse beneath you. Sit into it, back straight. Knees should not travel far past the toes. Do not hunch forward. You are sitting tall, holding the reins, and everything in your hips and thighs is switched on and working. Stand with your back against a wall. Step your feet slightly forward, raise your arms, and slowly lower as if sitting into an invisible chair. Hold that position. Back flat. Do not hold your breath. Do not collapse the spine forward. If the position feels too hard, come up immediately. Rest, and return when ready. Better to hold 30 seconds with perfect form than 2 minutes hunched over with compressed breathing. Beginners, 20 to 30 seconds. Intermediate, work toward 1 minute. Advanced, 3 to 5 minutes with no strain. 2 to 3 sets. Always prioritize form over duration. This last exercise is often underestimated. People think of it as a simple calf warm-up, but in Japan, it is treated with great respect. They call it the pump for the brain and the heart. Exercise 4. Calf raises. Have you ever noticed how Japanese women in traditional kimono walk? They don't stomp the way Europeans do. They seem to glide above the ground. Small, precise, confident steps. The secret is in the strength of their calves. Why it matters. Here's a fact that every cardiologist knows, but that rarely gets mentioned. Your heart cannot pump blood on its own from the tips of your toes all the way back up, especially after 50, when blood vessels begin to lose their elasticity. Blood travels upward thanks to the calf muscles and the venous valve system. Every time you walk, run, or simply rise onto your toes, your calf muscles contract and squeeze blood back up through the veins toward the heart. The calves are called the muscular pump, the second heart of the body. When the calves are weak, blood pools in the legs. That is where varicose veins come from, where nighttime cramps come from, where swollen ankles come from, and most importantly, where the risk of blood clots begins. Japanese centenarians from Okinawa understand this instinctively. They rise onto their toes hundreds of times a day, reaching for a cup of tea on a high shelf, working in the garden, moving through the house. For us, this becomes a dedicated exercise. Simple, but brilliant. Stand with feet hip-width apart. Rise as high as possible onto your toes. Then lower back down slowly and with control. Rise again. Lower again. Common mistakes. Do not drop your heels sharply. The impact travels up through the ankle and into the spine. Lower slowly. Do not hold your breath. Breathe rhythmically throughout. Do not push through sharp pain in the calf. If you feel sudden pain, stop and gently massage the muscle. 2 to 3 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions. Or integrate it into your day the way Japanese people do. Rise onto your toes whenever you're standing still, waiting for the kettle, standing at the sink. The calves don't need a mat, they just need to keep moving. So here's what we covered today. 4 exercises from Japan. Exercise 1, the Asian squat. Opens the hips, lubricates the joints, and rebuilds the foundation of leg strength. Exercise 2, single leg balance. Trains the vestibular system and the brain-to-muscle connection that prevents falling. Exercise 3, the horse stance. Turns your legs into unshakable pillars and sharpens the mind. Exercise 4, calf raises. Activates the second heart of the body and keeps blood moving the way it should. These are not complicated movements, but they only work if you do them regularly, not once, every day. Write in the comments, how did you feel after doing these exercises? And tell me your name and your city. I'm genuinely curious where in the world people are taking care of their health besides Japan. If you want more routines like this, routines that are simple, science-backed, and designed specifically for people over 55, subscribe to the channel. I post new videos every week. And if after today's session your joints feel tight or your shoulders feel stiff, watch the next video. I'll show you how to restore full mobility in the hips and shoulders in just a few minutes a day.